exactly on the, but they are astride, maybe astride or near to the art of public relations. Theater is a kind of mass communication art, and business management is also a kind of science of markets and audiences. So I guess I have availed or benefited from certain studies that I have taken in both degree programs.
So, sir, what do you wish you have known before you, I think, enter in public relation as a career?
Well, I wish I could say, because I'm not such a chismoso in general. Did you say wish ba? Well, I wish I were more of a chismoso type actually, because I guess that is also the motive behind such a kind of attitude or behavior. Could be the curiosity that is intense in some people, curiosity about others, no? Curiosity about the surroundings. So these are maybe the what do you call this? Unstudied na mga skills or qualities do.
So sir, how do you keep up with this kind of industry in public relation?
I keep my senses open, particularly my eyes. I read local news and also certain, in particular to our institution, our system news. And then I also observe the relationships or between our internal clients, and I try to maintain a presence with them all throughout, and extend assistance and even anticipate also what the needs are, as well as to develop further yung ating existing na mga programs.
So sir, although as a public relations officer, what do you think is your least favorite part of your job?
Well, least favorite part, maybe least favorite. Well,
Wala, sir?
Oh, least favorite. We will try to think of some part of my job, no? You might say that I don't like writing. You might say that least favorite, I don't like having to
wake up every morning,
have to ambush people around and ask them unexpected questions such as how do you spell your name, or making unannounced visits. I guess
maybe the stress.
Well, siguro the stress, ayun siguro lang yung least siguro, when something happens outside your area and you realize that it impacts on you, your job, you out of nowhere, no? And then you have to kind of take action, sometimes some kind of opposing action, such as make statements that that are made to correct, to minimize possible damages to reputation,
Oh,
yung mga unlikely events that affect public relations.
for example, sir,
Well,
one good example.
the BTI plant project, for example, is out of nowhere. It is not really also in the institutional track, research track. It is an individual project, and there was a kind of, it was not really in the mainstream of our institution, and suddenly out of nowhere, there is an issue that explodes, no? And these are factors sometimes that are beyond you as individual and maybe capacity of the institution, and it runs rampant. Ayan, yun siguro yung list, ano? And then it takes on a life of its own, as events sometimes do, and you are kind of maybe not helpless, but you are overwhelmed by developments. And I guess he is kind of example of the least pleasant as
So,
well.
then from list, so we go to something more positive, sir. Tell me about a project you work on that you are especially proud of.
Well, I guess the annual reports of the past few years, which have come out in limited editions, are my flagship projects, because partly that is one that is exclusively my province. It is not, no one in the university does it, and it contains most of it is my work, in the sense that I lay it out myself, and most of the photos are also taken by me. A job that is actually not directly the job of a PR person, and then but there is just a satisfaction on my part to be able to come up with a publication, and that also is a subset. It's essentially a subset, a small subset of the public relations effort. It just happens to be a product that is almost majority of which is made by me.
And before we answer, what are 3 tips would you offer someone starting off in public relation?
A sense of yung makapal sa mukha, tapos medyo yung parang dynamic, yung enthusiastic, saka meron din siyang kind of a, let's say, shrewd, maybe political qualities, and also as a sense of parang marketing excitement of putting up campaigns and events. These are the stuff of the relations, and the PR person finds happiness in these activities.
Does it almost 7 tips?
Ganun ba?
But sir, thank you for your time. I know our listeners have been inspired by your works. For our listeners, those who want to see Sir Rene work, you can visit on www.upme.edu.ph. Mateo News.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bob.